welcome to Super Marvel Brothers. I'm Brendon with Connor here.
Hi.
And we're ready to get you ready for the greatest cinematic event in the history of the world, Marvel Infinity Wars.
You paused for... I wasn't going to stop you. It's just kind of become the intro.
It's just that? Like,
yeah.
We're just going
I think
with it
I think after 7 weeks, I'm fine with just having it.
So there's no comments anymore? Just so I can prepare.
I'm not going to say no comments, but tentatively, I'm not going to fight it.
Okay. Connor?
Yes.
We went through phase one. Phase one had its ups. It had its downs.
It had its bottoms. Specifically not in Captain America, though. It's messed up.
Yeah, that is 100% true. And I'm hoping that's just a phase one. It's a phase. A phase in phase one.
It better be a phase in phase one.
But we ended with a huge bang with the Avengers. We both love that movie. It's now our top movie. And now we get to start phase two.
Phase 2. Woohoo!
And phase 2 starts with your boy.
My boy, Tony Stark.
Tony Stark.
Iron Man.
Starting off Iron Man 3. Directed by Shane Black. Came out in the great year of 2013.
Graduated high school that year.
I guess I graduated college that
year.
Yeah. I'm old.
Yeah.
I almost cursed. I'm trying not to do it on this podcast.
That's in there. I did not edit that out either. That's in there.
Interesting fact, almost made its budget on the opening weekend. $200 million estimated budget with $175 million opening weekend. It was a moneymaker.
Yeah.
It did good.
Iron Man was a big name still at that time. You know, it was the first Iron Man's good, and the second one was alright. But
I mean, has anyone done a better job being the face of a franchise as Tony Stark? Did you see?
I mean, there are very few long-running movie franchises like this.
Did you see the new Marvel 10-year poster that came out this week?
I did.
And how everyone's on the ground except for Iron
Tony
Man,
Stark, who is above it all? Yeah, absolutely.
And let's take it a step farther. Has there ever been a B-list superhero that has ascended farther than Iron Man in the last 10 years?
That's a good question. I think the answer is no.
I really cannot
He went from being unknown to, like, universally known.
Like, the only reason Fox never bought them is because he said there would never be a good Iron Man movie.
Yeah,
it's the only reason Marvel had him.
I think the first time I really heard of Iron Man, maybe besides catching a glimpse of like the Saturday morning cartoon from the 70s or 90s or whatever, was in a Tony Hawk game. Like a secret character was Iron Man. And he had a hoverboard, and I was like, "Who's Iron Man?" You know,
that's a thing.
Yeah, and then hey, look where we are.
And again, now they're making billion-dollar movies based on this guy. So let's jump into it here. Sure. We actually do a flashback. We're in 1999.
To Eiffel 65's Blue.
That is, okay, so let's start it here. We're going to show our hands a little early. There's going to be a lot of talking about this movie, if it's good or not. But it is the best introduction, I think, to a movie. Really good. If it's not, it's like top 5.
It starts off with some great narration by Tony Stark. And does that have the armor going up?
It has armor. I can't remember. I think it is going up.
I think it's like blowing up. And
then, a soliloquy, if you will.
Yes. And then
we're cultured
I'm gonna pretend I remember what that means for my AP English class. I was taking it this year, so in 2013.
I forgot we both took AP English.
Yep. So
we're cultured people, like I said.
It starts off with the introduction into the flashback, and it's a great kind of show of where Tony's character was when we started.
Because this is exactly the Tony Stark you see at the beginning of Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
He's drunk, he's with girls, he's blowing people off he doesn't care about.
Yeah.
His name tag says, "You know who I am."
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that little...
It's very Tony Stark. And I think that's what Iron Man's great about over the course of the movies, including Avengers and everything. Pretty much every movie he appears in, is he does show character growth.
If nothing else, Marvel is good that the character is going to grow throughout an arc in a series.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're very good at that. I think Captain America is really good at that.
Yes.
I even think Thor, to a lesser degree, I think they kind of dropped the ball in the second one. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
That should be our shirt. We'll get to that. I said that way
we'll
too
get
much.
To that.
But yeah, they do really do a good job developing character. And I think you do see that. So you see where Tony's been.
Mm-hmm.
He's going up here, and then we meet Killian for the first round.
Yeah.
And Killian's like this. You describe him for me, because I'm
like
blank here.
The geekiest dude you could.
Geekiest. He's got a cane.
Yeah.
He's got long
There's some
hair.
physical stuff going on. He looks greasy.
Yeah. And
he's shiny and not the fun way.
do we want to talk about Happy's
mullet and facial hair combo?
Happy,
John Favreau?
John Favreau on point in 1999.
John Favreau with long hair, not upset.
John Favreau, the 90s don't have to die just because we said it did.
Yeah.
Bring it back, man.
Time's just a number.
Time is exact. That's good.
Time's just a number. That's the little...
They're trying to keep Killian out of the whole thing, but he sneaks in and starts trying to explain his plans. That
the whole thing being an elevator, by the way, and Tony going up to his penthouse suite at the hotel.
With like 18 women.
Yeah, like, it's not like a secret thing. He's going to the elevator trying to blow this nerd off.
But he sneaks in there. He says he's making AIM, and how he has all these big plans. Yeah. And Tony kind of whispers in his ears, like, "I'll be on the rooftop 15 minutes," knowing that that's going to get him away, so that he can actually go do what he wants.
Yeah, absolutely.
While he's in the room, he's talking with Maya Hansen about her extremis.
The like regenerative. They say it's like hacking into an organism's OS essentially to regenerate them.
Except it explodes sometimes.
Yeah, only one minor glitch, and that is the absolute immolation of everything.
I actually forgot a point. Happy closes the door on those two, and he just gives a little head nod.
Like, yeah, Tony, what's up?
Happy's the wingman.
Happy is the perfect wingman.
It's not the wingman Tony needs. It's the wingman Tony deserves.
I especially like when he goes and opens his own restaurant, and then that fails and becomes a food truck guy. Wrong John Favreau.
Is that part of the MCU? I hope it is.
Oh my god. Marvel makes Chef part of the MCU.
Hashtag Chef in the MCU.
Happy's hidden life.
But while he's doing that, Killian's on the rooftop, and obviously Tony's blown him off, and it obviously changes the course of his entire life after that. Which again, I think goes back to this idea that Tony's made mistakes in the past, and his mistakes come back to haunt him.
Yeah.
Every time he's trying to make his life better in some way, shape, or form, something that he's done in the past can come back and bite him in the butt.
And honestly, that's kind of been the whole theme of all three of these movies. I mean, you had Tony's, lifestyle as a weapon salesman in one. And
that's where you get the ironmonger that he doesn't want to lose that. And then you get in two, not necessarily Tony, but Tony's dad.
Yeah.
Kind of brings apart Whiplash.
The Stark legacy, really.
The Stark legacy. We'll go that. The surname, if you will.
And that brings on this. And this was Tony's old ways. Because by this movie, when we flash forward in time, he's a completely different person.
Absolutely. He's 100% changed. We see kind of that man we saw at the end of Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
Well, kind of.
Getting there.
Yeah, we're getting
there. Closer to what we saw in Avengers.
Closer to what we see in Avengers and Civil War going forward in Iron Man 3. So I really like the development they have there. This is a Christmas movie.
I believe the only Marvel Christmas movie?
As far as I know.
Which means this goes up there with Die Hard, Gremlins.
Jurassic World.
Jurassic World's a Christmas
That's
movie.
Always one everyone forgets. Jurassic World.
You know what? It's because you don't see a lot of Christmas trees and stuff.
You see like one Christmas tree, but it's there.
Yeah, it's there. It's Christmas
Shane Black also very famous. Every one of his movies takes place in Christmas.
Ah, I didn't know
He
that.
likes to do those Christmas vibes there.
Interesting.
So if we want to compare, let's compare franchises here. So Marvel's Christmas special to Star Wars Christmas special.
What about Life Day? And there's the whole, I don't even, what do you call it?
Wookiees, just Wookiees.
What was it? What did they do? Chunky?
I think one is Chunky.
It's like Chunky's the baby Wookiee that's a demon teddy bear. Oh gosh.
They have like don't they have like a, was it the I forget the airplane band. I forget what it is.
Jefferson Starship?
Oh, Jefferson Starship. Yeah, Jefferson Starship is in the Star Wars.
Oh man.
So
Star Wars Christmas special better than this because this did not have Jefferson Starship.
I guess if we want to go there. We come back to Tony in the present day, and that we see that he has not slept for 72 hours.
Yeah, but he is doing this cool thing where he's like, it looks kind of like a nail gun or tattoo gun or something. He's like injecting his arm with these things. He's like, ow, 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 as he's doing this. And he's testing out these like sensors he injected himself with to call pieces of his armor to him so he can like have mobile armor kind of.
I think it's important to point out this is the Mach 42.
Which at the end of Avengers, that was the Mach 7 or 9.
6 or 7, I think it was. I want to say 7. We both said 7.
Yeah.
So in a span of what we're assuming is less than a year, we're gonna
it has
a year maybe.
We'll be generous and say a year, because round numbers are fun.
Round numbers are fun.
But
it goes from 7 to 42. So obviously he's been... And in the previous 4 years, he's gone from 1 to 7. And 1, I'm assuming, is the cave one, right?
I would assume.
So
yeah, because the silver one was Mark II.
Yeah, so he's been obsessed with this, like, to the point that it has taken over his life. And it's going to kind of tie into that fact that the PTSD he suffers in the Avengers, which we're going to get to this a little bit later, but I think that's a good character development tool they use in this movie.
And I want to put this note in here. We're not saying that PTSD makes good characters and that you can just use this, condition to sprinkle over characters and say, now it's a deep and tragic character. But it made sense for Tony to have
with the story the way it is. And there's movies where it works, where you have these things here.
You can do it tastefully, and I hate to say tastefully in a superhero movie, but it's
you need to watch Logan.
Yeah. It's done in a way that makes sense for the character to have it. He went through a very traumatic experience. He essentially died, really. And he was in a war zone. And for a character like Tony Stark, who sure was selling weapons to the people, never experienced war. He's not Captain America. He's not Black Widow. He's not even Hawkeye.
And I'm trying really hard to think. I mean, I guess you could argue in the first movie, the end scene, he kind of faced death, or he probably should have died.
Yeah.
But he's never really been one to face death. Because Iron Man 2, I know he's dying.
Yeah.
And he kind of comes to terms, I guess, with it. But, like, he's never faced that, like, I'm making this decision, and this decision will lead me to die, like he did in the Avengers.
Yeah. It was never his conscious decision to do so.
Yes, and that was what happened in Avengers. And now that he's seen... And the combination of that and the fact that he's seen, like, holy crap, had we not had the luckiest things in the world happen, these aliens would have just come and destroyed everything.
Absolutely.
So that changes everything. Mark 42, the color scheme.
Oh my god. It's like pale gold all over, and then with bits of red, and...
They inverse the colors, and it's not good.
No. Well, and they inversed it and then lightened the gold. It's like, maybe it would have looked better with the more, like, gold than, like, the...
And I think the problem we ran into is, we talked about in Iron Man 2, the suitcase suit.
So cool.
It looks really good, and all his suits have looked great. And we said, this is the coolest way to assemble the suit, the way he does it.
Honestly, I would have been happy if they did it the old suit, but now you could assemble it on the move.
Had they done the regular color scheme, I think this would have been my favorite suit, but I just hate that color so much. It's so
great.
awful.
So he does this cool thing where it's like this neat scene of like him assembling the suit and then flying to him and putting him on. He like even does like a cool flip because the face mask goes upside down, so he matches that. And then it gets knocked apart because it's Iron Man. You have to have your slapstick in there.
Yeah, they do comedy, and I think some of the comedy works and some of it does not work.
Iron Man movies, in my experience, typically do it well. Because they know when a moment's serious, and we'll get to a point later where they clearly did not in this movie, but they know when a moment's serious, and like when he's in his garage testing stuff out, wow, he just did that cool flip to get
he melted his sports car?
Yeah, and then it's like, oh, you got hit, haha, it's funny because it's allowed to be funny in this moment. When he's in... If he was fighting the Ironmonger and then, like, his boot got stuck and it was funny.
I feel like you're alluding to something in this movie.
I'm not,
But yeah, I think they do an okay job with comedy there.
Yeah.
They do better than some of the other series.
Yeah.
Which we'll get to. I'm looking at a certain Norse god. I don't know who that could be, but I'm looking at one. We get a cutaway.
Fenrir, right?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, Fenrir.
Yeah. You're such a nerd.
That was the one I could think of.
I mean, I'm not the nerd. I'm just doing a podcast about comic book movies.
Yeah.
You're the nerd for knowing Norse mythology.
I'm trying to think of ones that weren't involved in that. Fafnir. There you go. Stick with it. Fafnir.
Hashtag Fafnir. We get a cutaway to the Mandarin, played by Ben Kingsley. And
okay,
do we want to do this now or we want to wait a little later?
I feel like...
Do you want to just get out of the way now?
Yeah. Ben Kingsley, amazing actor. Great actor.
Every time I saw the Mandarin, I legitimately
first time watching this movie,
absorbed into the movie.
First time watching this movie, I was like... He delivered the line so well in this, like...
Some call me a terrorist, I call myself a teacher.
And, like, the voice and everything, and the visual, and it was real. Like
he was menacing, and it was a real world villain. So we come from the Avengers. We have this galactic threat.
Yeah.
I love the idea of going to this real, grounded terrorist organization.
I mean, in 2013, it was something that was still really fresh.
It is
to
still
America.
fresh and relevant.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it was a character who, when he spoke, it was like, this isn't a man doing this for no reason. This is a man with a story and a cause. And I'm not...
The way the visuals are used, everything is perfect with how they use Ben Kingsley there.
I don't want to discredit the writers, but Ben Kingsley's delivery of it all, I think...
Ben Kingsley has an Oscar for Best Actor. And it
an
was
amazing actor.
Wasted in this movie, the way they did that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And obviously, we're doing this in hindsight. We're hoping you've watched the movie already. If
Please
you haven't watched Iron Man 3 already, stop this now and go watch it, because the twist that they use for Ben Kingsley's awful.
Yeah.
I think this movie's going to get docked serious points on our shield scale by the scientist. Simply because of the use of Ben Kingsley in this movie.
So the Mandarin gets introduced, which, again, I'm going to go off on another tangent, even though we just got off of one. Mandarin, classic Iron Man villain. It related with the 10 rings, which the logo shows up from Iron Man 1.
It is the same logo from Iron Man 1.
Which we talked about in Iron Man 1. Like, if they made that an overarching villain thing, that would have been cool.
You don't even have to make it a single villain. Make it an organization.
Exactly.
That's fine.
And so the logo shows up,
make it the Hydra of Iron Man.
Absolutely. And the logo shows up, and honestly, I remember in 2013 when I watched this movie in theaters, I did not understand that. Like, I might have said, oh, it's 10 rings, but I did not connect it to Iron Man 1.
Mm-hmm.
It's doing this podcast that said, oh, wait, that's from Iron Man 1.
And let's credit Marvel for that. They
Absolutely.
Can throw these little things in there that you're not... Yeah, the continuity has been really good in all these movies. Besides actors and actresses.
Well, you know, I'm just saying, Don Cheadle.
They've been better.
But... like, Mandarin, I thought they were going to kind of combine the two uses of the 10 rings, which one is a criminal organization, and the other is a magical dude named the Mandarin who hunts these 10 magic rings. He was the main villain in the Iron Man cartoon, I remember. He was a green elf man. It was weird.
I feel like I need to watch this cartoon because I've never watched
it. It's entertaining. Okay. Yeah, so I was like, oh, are they going to go for the magic? They did Avengers. It's totally within the possibility.
Yeah, and especially when you think of later movies, the ideas of I know we're skipping ahead, but Spider-Man: Homecoming, the idea of taking the alien tech, and retroactive. That's not what is it? Retrofitting,
reverse engineering.
Reverse engineering. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Reverse engineering.
I said thank you. You thank you. Boy, we are. Let's just move on. Let's just avoid that.
Let's just say we're doing this a little later at night and closer to our deadline than we usually do.
Oh yeah, we are.
So
I've got a long night ahead of me of editing.
But yeah, they reverse engineering that so that the concept's there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's better things they could do with that. We get our first look at the new War Machine, which is the Iron Patriot. Did they really need to change that?
I don't know if Iron Patriot's a thing in the comics. I'm not.
It is a thing.
Okay.
So I'm gonna nerd out a little bit because I did some research.
Ooh,
look at me using my college degree to do research.
There you go for a comic.
So comic book podcast that a couple people listen to, and I'm really not sure why at this point.
That's fine.
Iron Patriot's actually Norman Osborn's Iron Man suit.
Oh.
And he uses it to run for president at some point.
Oh my god, that's the most comic book thing I've ever heard. I built an Iron Man suit to run for president.
So
there's a Futurama on there.
I'm sure they're probably...
No, it's when Nixon uses the robot body.
Oh my gosh, you're right! But I gotta figure out, did that come before Futurama or Futurama come first?
Oh, who knows?
But they bring Iron Patriot in and they're like, oh, War Machine was a little too violent and extreme.
It didn't test well or whatever.
It didn't test well. It's like, that's so American politics.
Absolutely.
This didn't test well, so we're gonna give you a paint job.
Yeah.
Rhodey meets Tony at a bar.
It's like a sports bar or something.
Some sort of sports bar.
Biker bar.
Yeah, and it was right after the Mandarin has announced another explosion.
Yeah.
Tony keeps saying, like, I can help you. I've got stuff. I can do this.
Yeah.
And Rhodey doesn't want to do it, which I get. You know, it's classified. You're in the army.
And Rhodey's also his friend. He's like, when was the last time you slept? Like,
we get a couple kids to come up to Tony, asking for his autograph.
Yeah.
And the littlest kid,
which before you say this, I'm gonna say this next part I thought was like a hallucination or like some magic BS or something going on that like forced the kid to say it. Like it seemed like one of those setup moments.
It did, and I think they're trying to show that it's the PTSD he's going through.
Yeah,
that like everything kind of slows down, and it does kind of takes away like you're not in the real world anymore.
Yeah,
where he says like, "What was it like in the wormhole?"
Or he says like, "How'd you get out?"
Or yeah, how to get yeah. And we get cutaways from the Avengers of him going through, trying to call Pepper, doesn't go through, him falling. And he starts having the panic attack.
Yeah.
And he sprints straight to his suit, which I like that you point out. It's lined up right next to the bikes like it is a motorcycle.
Yeah. He just like parked that standing up straight, whatever. And we realize it's like the first suit. Because it's all dinged up and stuff.
If not the first, definitely like 3 or 4.
Yeah. It's an old one, which is kind of cool because it makes sense. Why would you take the new one out? Like
you bring the old busted if you're going to a sports bar, not the new hotness.
Oh, sweet Men in Black reference I made during that movie.
Yes, you did. And now it's mine.
No, I don't have proof. Yeah, and Jarvis kind of diagnoses him and says like, yeah, you just had a severe like anxiety attack.
So he flies away. We cut away to Stark Industries.
Yeah, where our friend Happy is now the new head of security and a badge Nazi.
He is really a badge Nazi.
Creepy Hitler would be proud.
I just, the one scene I know where he's just like, hey, you. And he just points at his badge.
Like, flicks his
and the
badge.
dude like holds his badge like upside down like,
Yeah.
and then throws it back on the table. It's amazing.
Yeah, and Pepper goes into a meeting with none other than Killian, who is the nerdy, greasy dude we talked about.
And he doesn't look nerdy or greasy anymore.
Yeah, I'm not going to say hot because I don't think he's attractive. But...
no, it's not like...
It's like, wow, he really turned his life around. Not like, wow, he's hot now. It's not
he
like...
didn't go from like a 2 to a 10. He went to a 2 to like maybe a 6.5.
I'll take... Yeah. I think that's fair.
I mean, as 2 straight men, we can totally like rate men like that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
We know it looks good. Come on.
Yeah, it is right here in this room.
Hey, what up?
For all the people that can't see it. Killian's kind of just saying like where his research is, and he throws a couple balls onto the table. No innuendos.
Metal
intended.
balls.
Yes.
Like 3 metal balls, and they start a projection.
Of the human brain. And we find out that it's actually Killian's brain.
Yeah.
And he's showing where his research is and how he could use it to kind of better it. He's been perfecting or working on this extremist thing.
And he brings up how it could help. Essentially how it could like help the world. But Pepper says, yeah, but it could also be weaponized, and we're not really about that.
Which I kind of like the fact that she kind of is learning, especially from like the first Iron Man, from like the Ironmonger and all that. Like, this seems like something that could be easily weaponized, which is something that does carry over into Marvel movies, especially like the first ones.
Yeah.
Because you think like Captain America is all about the super serum that could be weaponized. You think of Ant-Man, the suit could be weaponized. So like I kind of like that they look at like that, which I guess is kind of a trope, but it is what it is. It's okay. And they go away, and Killian gives her a kiss on the cheek right before...
Which, creep factor times 10. Ugh.
It wasn't a... Yeah, it was
It
weird.
wasn't like a, hey, we're old friends, European style. It was like a, oh God.
I'm like your ex, and I'm not over you, and here's a kiss.
Yeah,
so
like, that's like, oh, stop, no. Ew.
Happy, being the rational man in the situation.
And Super Sleuth.
Super Sleuth just takes his cell phone out and just snaps a picture.
Just like, beep, done.
Do you want to bring up the phone situation? We've been talking about the phone situation throughout.
Yeah,
just
Tony Stark's phone scenario.
So for those of you that have been watching this podcast, Tony Stark in Iron Man 1 starts with a flip phone.
Yes.
Maybe a razor at the most, if that.
Yeah, something like that.
What does he evolved into?
In Iron Man 2, we see he had like a clear glass, almost like half tablet or something. He was using to hack stuff. Now he has like this sweet... It is like another clear square. But there's a point where he just drags up and like another part comes out or like projects or something. He's like doing research while he's talking to Happy. But he's gotten so petty with his technology that he leaves it in a wine cooler.
Yeah, he's getting wine out for date night, and he's just like, here, Happy, you're going to stay in the wine cooler right now, and I'm going to leave now.
Yeah,
the phone situation, I think that's more impressive than the suit situation.
His phone level has increased by like 300%.
And his suits have only increased by like 50%.
Yeah.
We cut back to his Malibu house.
Yeah.
Where it's date night.
Date night!
There's a giant bunny in the driveway.
Pepper comes home to a giant stuffed bunny.
Which again...
And we're not talking like, oh, that's like like 3 foot tall bunny.
Oh, it's like a story.
Yeah,
It's like 12 feet tall.
Yeah, it's like 12 foot tall.
To the point that he says he's got to blow out a wall to get it into the place.
Which is funny because Pepper walks into Iron Man, not Tony, Iron Man armor. And she's like, oh, you're wearing your hobby around the house now? And he's like, oh, well, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, well, I'll just go get a crowbar from downstairs, pry it open.
Well, I do like says, why don't you open that so I can give you a kiss? He's like, just kiss me on the face slit.
Yeah, he's like, oh, won't open, just kiss me on the face slit. Which would have been funny to see Iron Man armor with the lipstick print right there.
That would have been actually a little comical.
Funny.
She goes downstairs and sees that Tony's no longer in the suit. He's actually piloting remotely.
Yeah.
And it kind of brings this point up where she's really angry, but he kind of opens up. And I like that he keeps saying, like, at first he says we. And he's not referring to him and Pepper. He's referring to him in the suits.
Yeah.
That they're connected now. And I kind of like that development because the whole thing has been about, especially since Avengers, this development of the suits, development of, like, this. Mach 47, Mach 46, Mach 42.
Mark 42.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
But this whole idea of like the suits are part of me now. I need them because there's something out there now. Kind of that opening that we're not alone now, and it's my job to protect the things that are most important. And he talks about Pepper there.
Well, what I like about this scene is in more character development is that he opens up to her. Whereas Iron Man 2, the whole plot was, I'm not going to tell you I'm dying. And it was this whole like, you know, you have to, like, it's part of like being an adult and stuff. And in this, he just like that opens up, and it's like, look, I'm going through this stuff. I'm messed up right now.
Again, especially watching these, and not back to back to back, but in a very close proximity. Just the Iron Man movies. Yeah. The character development is very noticeable, and I think it's a great job there. Mm-hmm. They go to bed. Tony starts having nightmares again. Mm-hmm. And this is like one of my first issues, though. I think Tony's great in here. I don't think Pepper's very good in this movie.
No, and this was after, I think this was like after this movie, she said she didn't want to be him.
Yeah.
Anymore, which I think that's kind of almost apparent.
Yeah, because I don't know, because that's writing. It's not necessarily her.
That's true. That's fair.
He has this nightmare. Pepper's trying to wake him up, and as she's trying to do that, the Iron Man suit, the remote one, comes to the room and like grabs her hand, and that's where Tony wakes up and he smashes it apart and says, "That wasn't supposed to happen. It's not supposed to do when I sleep.
I gotta recalibrate it."
And she freaks out and goes there. It's like, he just opened up to you of all these things that he's worried about,
and it's like he's clearly having like issues and stuff, and it's like, okay, I get it was scary. I'm sure it's terrifying.
But he had no control over this.
Yeah.
This wasn't like something he willingly did.
I don't know why. Honestly, I don't know why that scene's in there.
It doesn't really help, except reinforce the PTSD. But I think they do a better job in the other scenes here. That's something that could have easily been cut and would not have hurt. I don't know if they're
trying to show like their relationships on the rocks or something. But...
Which I guess is it lays the groundwork for Civil War, I guess, if you want to go that far. But yeah, it doesn't really help there.
So then, I believe we cut to Happy.
Happy at L.A. at the China Theater? Or is that what it's called?
Hollywood, isn't it?
L.A. Hollywood.
Whatever.
6 of one, half dozen the other. I've been to the city. It's okay.
He's at the
Shout out to our L.A. listeners.
Hey, what up?
Dan, if you're listening, you're the man.
Dan, if you're not listening, what the heck? Come on.
I thought we were friends, man.
So we cut to him stalking the guy who was with Killian, his like supposed bodyguard. I
don't even know if he has a name in this movie.
It's the discount Jason Statham, is what I'm calling him because that's kind of what he is.
I'm okay with that. Let's go with it.
So discount Jason Statham is going to the China Theater. I really wish I knew the name of that place.
We should have paid attention to that part.
Absolutely. And he meets up with this guy, gives him a suitcase, and he's like, "Hey, can you regulate?" And Happy's watching from a sunglasses stand, which is just so happy.
Happy is really good in this movie, even though he's only in it for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
The guy gets his stuff. Happy goes over and knocks the stuff off so he can take some of it.
Seemingly by accident. Like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Let me help you pick it up. And then when he starts to pick it up, he notices that the dude like glows a little. Mm-hmm. And he's like, okay. And then discount Jason Statham goes over, he's like, oh, hey, what's up? You here on a date? Well, want to go see one of your chick flicks? He's like, yeah, I'm here to, yeah, I'm here to see what the game's over.
The game's over featuring you in this.
Yeah, you and your druggy girlfriend or whatever. He's like, here's your tickets. And it's like, such a like, oh, happy you're not.
Oh, happy.
And then kind of fight scene breaks out, and the dude he gave the suitcase to goes like nuclear.
Yeah, and you see the explosion. Happy's able to get behind the
sunglasses stand.
So he's protected, but I forgot how gruesome he looked today.
He gets messed up. And it's not like movie makeup. It's like, and it was movie makeup, but it looks pretty real.
It was pretty gritty, especially for a Disney movie.
Yeah.
Which we gotta remember.
Disney.
Are, circle-eared overlords.
Triple circle overlords.
But Discount Jason Statham walks out of it unscathed.
Because he regenerates with extremis.
And even though all those cars just crashed in front of the explosions and like everyone's panicking, he just walks out in like half-burned clothing and no one notices.
Yeah. I'm going to bring this up because that's the first instance. I mean, we see it in the intro with the plants, but that's the first instance we see the human regenerating with extremis.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized they didn't at the time, but if Marvel had Spider-Man, the rights to Spider-Man, they could have made such a good tie-in earlier with the Lizard in that.
If you wanted to keep the Amazing Spider-Man canon, yes.
Wait, I'm not even saying Amazing Spider-Man. If like they had Spider-Man rights and they wanted to make a movie and tie it into this MCU, they could have said Dr. Connors heard about this stuff, or like
or even if you want to go a step farther. Mm-hmm. You could have pushed I don't know if you want to push it back, but you could have done the Homecoming like that. Yeah. You should have said that this scientist got a hold of extremists and was trying to perfect it. You get the Lizard.
Yeah.
But I understand why you didn't do that because Amazing came out right before.
Right. And they used the Lizard.
You want to use the new...
Yeah.
You want to use something different.
But, again, alternate reality, if that happened, would have been a great tie-in.
Yeah.
So
obviously, Happy's in the hospital... Tony does that also. I love every time he uses the 3D rendering and does the CSI scenes with that, and he's like looking at everything.
And he's like recreating like Happy pointing and stuff like he was.
It's so cool. It's such great, and especially we watched this on Blu-ray. Mm-hmm. I have every MCU movie except for one. Mm-hmm. By the time this is recorded, I'll have everyone but one, and most of them are on Blu-ray. It does hold up on Blu-ray. It's a very good watch. It seems really very clean. He can pull pieces up. He's looking at it. Eventually he goes looking at these events throughout the country, and he pinpoints one in Tennessee, which I'm going to bring up the fact we're assuming these explosions, the Mandarin explosions, are happening across the U.S. because it seems like when he says get rid of the Mandarin ones, and a bunch of them go away.
A bunch of them drop. So these attacks have been
What is S.H.I.E.L.D. doing?
You know, that's a good question for this whole movie.
Because S.H.I.E.L.D. is not in this movie at all. It's the first movie I think S.H.I.E.L.D. does not make any appearance.
Our next scene would have been the right time for S.H.I.E.L.D. to come in, which was after the CSI thing, and he discovers the dog tags and like where these explosions are happening. He goes to see Happy, and it's a really nice scene because he's like just kind of snuck in there, and a nurse comes in. He's like, "Oh, hey, sorry, like, he's a sucker for security. Make sure you have your badges. Put Downton Abbey on. He thinks it's eloquent or whatever." And he walks out, and there's a bunch of press outside. And he just says, and not in an Iron Man suit, no, in a car, like, and the press. This one guy says, like, "What are you gonna do about the?"
I didn't think that guy was press. I think he was just like a blogger.
Yeah, and he was like, "What are you gonna do about the? What do you have to say about the Mandarin attacks or whatever?" And he's like, "Now you made it personal. I've decided you're already dead. I just gotta pick up the body. Like, it's dark. Like, it's not like I'm gonna put you in jail. It's like I'm gonna kill you." Mm-hmm. Because he hurt one of his best friends, and it's I don't know.
He gives his address out, but should have been. I should have seen a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent there.
Yeah,
and it's just weird.
Maria Hill or
you don't have to give me the bald guy. Not what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know the guy who keeps trying. I don't know. It would have been nice to see Maria Hill or even just Samuel L. Jackson again.
But it's weird because you've been tying S.H.I.E.L.D. and we're just coming off the Avengers,
where S.H.I.E.L.D. should be really like.
And I don't see a single S.H.I.E.L.D. agent in this whole movie. It's the first MCU movie you don't see that.
Which, when he gives his address out, I really just wanted to see Samuel L. Jackson at his house. Like, are you stupid? Like,
what did I tell you 4 years ago? 5 years ago?
He's like, you just did the dumbest thing I think you've ever done. So he goes home after he gives this whole dramatic speech about, like, I'm coming for you. Here's my address. come for me. Door will be open. I'll beat you up.
He's working on some things, and then someone just rings the doorbell.
Yeah, and he calls out Jarvis, and he's like, "Are we on Ding Dong? We should be on full lockdown." I just gave a terrorist my address.
And it's Maya Hansen,
Yeah.
Trying to connect, which again should have rang a lot of alarms. Like, this lady I haven't seen since 1999 is now on my doorstep.
Oh, he barely remembered her.
Yeah, but he did remember once it all came together.
Which, when she walks in, gives me one of my favorite Jarvis lines in this movie. Which was, she's like, "Oh, you don't remember me." He's like, "I don't even remember what I had for breakfast." And Jarvis just tunes in. He's like, "Gluten-free waffles."
Jarvis is so much better in this movie, especially because he's so bad in Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
They used him like just as the storyteller, as opposed to the one that's like actually giving like input that's like helping the movie.
Yeah, that's rough. Jarvis is great, but hey, he's gonna have a bigger part soon.
And then get killed.
So
as she's going over about the extremists and how she wants to perfect it and how he doesn't even remember doing that formula because he was so hungover the next day.
Yeah.
Which I think is such Tony Stark. Like, here's this groundbreaking formula. I'm hungover. I don't get it. But here it is. A missile comes in and starts destroying me.
3 attack helicopters firing missiles. He can barely get armor on Pepper. He doesn't get armor up himself.
Great character development. Who's the first person the armor goes on?
Pepper.
It's great.
It's really good. Especially after the whole speech of like, "I gotta protect you," and he armors up Pepper without thinking. And that, again, say what you will, Tony Stark's character over the last 3 movies have developed amazing.
I mean, you can even say, "Oh, you're including Avengers." Okay, sorry. Yeah, and then we get the scene. The whole house is saying it's just a giant disaster porn scene.
Yeah.
Everything's blowing up. He gets his suit back on. He's able to... Not everything's working. He's really good at improvising now.
Yeah.
Shoots a piano at one.
Yeah.
Takes a rocket out, shoots the other.
His tank missile isn't working for once, so he has to just pull it out and throw it and blast it.
So it's a really interesting scene. Eventually he's underwater. Looks like he's going to drown, but I'll let you take this, what you really like here.
Yeah, they use the armor, since it can disassemble and like kind of rocket fly and stuff. They use it in such a cool way, and I will give them that. There's a point where he's stuck under a bunch of rubble underwater, and Jarvis is just like, just take a deep breath. The gauntlet detaches itself, grabs his hand, pulls him out, and then puts itself back on. And I'm like, that's such a cool, if that didn't happen, it would have been like, why couldn't they do that? You know, it can disassemble. Why couldn't they find a way to do that? But because they did that, you have no questions. That's absolutely something that would happen. So I think that was such a good scene. And then Tony gets out from the rubble and flies off.
And we're assuming we're not assuming, he goes unconscious during it.
Yeah.
And he ends up in Tennessee.
He wakes up in Tennessee, which earlier he set a flight path for, or Jarvis did.
Yeah, and I just love how Tony's like, "Why am I in Tennessee? I do Pepper." He's like, "I set a flight path."
Yeah, he's like, "Who told you to do that?" And it's just like, I don't know if he says it, but it's just like, "You did."
He doesn't say you did. He's just like, "I set a flight path."
Yeah.
And he then shuts off because he's out of power, which brings up the question: Tony's now dragging his suit through the snow in Tennessee. Where did the rope come from?
Yeah, it's like a rope or buckle. It's like, I don't know. Tony's an engineer, but I doubt he carries that stuff with him.
You don't carry rope. Maybe wire.
And maybe, I guess you could argue, maybe Iron Man suit had a compartment. It's like, come on.
Stark magic.
Extremis.
That's the
BS excuse for this.
That's the hashtag in this movie. Hashtag extremis.
Hashtag extremis.
He goes through. He makes a call to Pepper, make sure he knows she knows he's alive. And then he goes to this barn, opens it, and we meet the little kid in the movie.
Yeah, Harley, who tries to hold him up with the potato gun, and he's like, "Oh yeah, the barrel's long and your choke's wide or whatever, but you're losing a lot of FPS with it or whatever." And launches the potato, breaks the jar. He's like, "That's cool. Now you're out of ammo." So. And
he kind of makes that relationship with him. He promises him a piece of Iron Man weaponry to fight a bully.
He gives him things like, "Who's the bully's name at school?" He's like, "How'd you know?" He's like, "Yeah, I just know." And he gives him the this little pill looking thing. He's like, "Just point that end to the other, click the top," and yeah. My favorite line comes up from this, and I don't know if it's from Tony Stark's "Yeah, I dealt with this too" thing. But we're breaking the rule. I mean, I've broken the rule already for cursing and stuff. Kid says like he's like, okay, who's home? And he's like, well, my mom left for the diner, and my dad went for scratchers, but he must have won because that was 6 years ago. And Tony just looks at him and says, yeah, dad's leave. No need to be a pussy about it. And I'm like, oh man, like you always want this.
The line I don't think is great, but the delivery makes it.
Yeah, that's true. The delivery's really good because it's not like
I'm not gonna say Tony Stark. Robert Downey Jr. is good at delivering those lines.
It's not like a that's my point. It's like that's part of what I'm saying. Now I'm going into what I actually need to say because it's just like says that line and it's like so anyway. What I was saying was like it's so like nonchalant.
Tony does a little more research about the explosion. Notices a military person. Asks the little kid like where would I find like any of his relatives, and goes to the bar there. We go to the bar there, and I guess his mom is there.
Yeah, the soldier's mom
that had the explosion
in Tennessee, not the kids.
Yes, and we go there, and the mom already has paperwork ready, and Tony's like, "Oh, you must have been expecting someone else," which is like very convenient.
Yeah, a little bit of convenience there.
Little bit of comic book magic there.
And then a lady comes in, is like, hey, I'm arresting you, Tony Stark, for no reason, really. Sheriff happens to be in the bar.
Sheriff doing his job off hours.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, what's going on here? And she's like, I'm from Homeland Security, and I got to do all this. And he's like, yeah, why don't you get on the phone with Nashville, and we'll clear this up. And she goes extremis. She gets all...
Kills a couple people.
Yeah, goes nuts. Tony... gets away, kind of drags her away from the fight, starts fighting her with science.
Yeah, Tony is being he's very resourceful in this movie. He's good at improvising, especially because he's handcuffed in the fight.
Yeah.
He eventually breaks it because she like melts the cuffs.
Yeah, he like tries to choke her out and then she like melts the cuffs and he gets him off.
And then he's like, oh wait, I'm a world-renowned scientist. Here's how I can kill you with a kitchen instrument.
Yeah, he throws dog tags in the microwave.
Opens the gas vent,
starts a fire with oil using the red handcuffs.
Apparently Extremis gives you fireproof clothes.
Yeah, you know.
Or does our 3-circle overlord give us the fireproof?
3-circle.
Okay. We have fireproof clothes as she walks straight through the fire.
Triple circle triumvirate.
Triple circle triumvirate. I'm not even going to try and say that 3 times fast.
Yeah, don't. So, yeah, he says like, you walked into this one, but I've dated hotter. And she says, like, oh, is that all you got? Cheap trick and one-liners? And again...
That's a good line.
Like, a good line is like, honey, that could be the title of my autobiography.
We're trying to go not as quote-heavy, but that is a very quotable line from this movie.
And just blows the place up.
Blows it up. The other guy's still there.
Discount Jason Statham.
Yeah. He's about to take the kid away, and he says, hey, remember I said about bullies? He pulls the weapon, gets him out, and then Tony has his one-shot arc shooter.
He has a one-shot, like, repulsor.
Yeah, repulsor, that's it. Shoots him in the head. He thinks he's dead. He's not.
Because extremis.
Is this... Then he melts the water tower? Is that before or after that?
That's before.
All right.
So he melts the water tower.
Yeah, he melts the water tower. A lot of stuff happens.
Yeah, so Tony Stark... pretty much sets the kid up and he's like, hey, I'll call you, all this stuff. He essentially leaves the kid to repair Jarvis and his armor, which is like, okay.
I don't think it's to repair the armor, just charge the armor.
Charge it. So he does that, and he starts taking off and has this whole thing with the kid where he's very Tony Stark.
Because we're connected.
Because, oh, you know how I know you're cold? Because we're connected. And drives off.
Such a jerk.
Oh, I love it. So then... He's driving to Miami. They eventually figure out after they charge the armor that they're going to Miami.
Mm-hmm.
And he has this whole breakdown.
We've kind of cut. There was 2 of those. One when after he comes back from the original site of the bombing.
Yes,
he has
you're right. He has another.
And
attack.
again, it's very well done because it's connected. It's
the kid bringing up New York and all this stuff.
He is so concerned with this outside threat and the idea that there is something out there that he's not going to be able to invent his way out of.
Yeah.
And it is such a good character development. And I think the thing that this movie drives me crazy is there are things this movie does so well.
And then others where
there are things where it craters so bad. And it's just so frustrating with this movie because there was so much potential for this to be.
Absolutely. The best Iron Man movie to wrap it all up. Really.
Yeah, I mean, it's better than Iron Man 2, I think.
Yeah.
And we were kind of talking, we glanced ahead at our schedule and was like, oh, we got some, like, bad movies to get through, but then we got these great movies.
Mm-hmm.
This should have been the movie that's been like, this should be up there with the good movies. And there's just some simple fixes they have to make there.
Yeah. We, again, we're not screenwriters or directors, but, we're the consumer, so.
Yeah, we're the average American Joe.
Yeah.
Who pays our hard-earned money.
Yeah.
To go see this movie.
Absolutely.
We drink our beer and we like our Marvel movies. And we're just telling you what we think.
Okay, so he connects with Rhodey. He calls Rhodey.
Yes.
Who is currently on a mission in his Iron Patriot armor.
Yeah.
And Rhodey's just like, oh my god, I'm glad you're alive.
And he's just like, every time you come, I have to change the password.
Yeah, he needs his account to hack into stuff. He's like, yeah, every time you log in, I have to change the password. Because his password's what? Iron War Machine 68.
Which we looked up is the first year you could find War Machine in comics.
Which usually that stuff is that.
It's a nice little tiny.
Yeah. And then he's like, well, what's the password? He's like, I gotta change it every time. He's like, okay, come on, what is it? He's like, War Machine rocks with an X. And one of the people he's like holding up pretty much and starts laughing and like without looking the gun turn on War Machine's back, just like switches
Zooms
right
in
at
on-
him.
That's a good scene.
So
great
good.
Scene.
And so Tony now has access to that government stuff, so he can look up Extremis.
But he needs the internet, so that's where we get
Oh god,
the lead cameo of this movie.
Yeah, the after summer past few weeks. Not our best, but they go to an event. I guess it's like an Elks Lodge event or something.
It's like a Miss Tennessee kind of thing,
Yeah,
or like
and-
Miss Tennessee County, whatever
Yeah.
they're in.
And Stanley's one of the judges, and he gives one of the
Straight tens,
pretty young ladies a straight 10.
because that's what Stanley does. He likes everything.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the hero of this movie, Gary. Gary's the man.
Gary is an element I remember laughing at in the theaters and totally forgot about, and then I saw him and I was like, I feel like I know this character.
So Tony needs more internet. He's got like 7 megabits up, which is awful.
Yeah.
And suddenly Gary walks in.
Who
Gary
happens to be a huge Tony Stark
He has
fan.
modeled his life after Tony Stark. He has the facial hair. He has a terrible tattoo off a doll that he has made.
Oh god, so creepy, Gary.
And Tony's just like, Gary, I need you here. I need more internet. I need
Tony needs Gary.
And Gary needs
No.
Gary's awesome.
Gary's really good.
But Gary gets the internet up.
Gary saves the day. So he gets in and he gets to watch all these videos and he learns that Extremis is this kind of like, they're helping regenerate kind of like veterans and stuff who lost limbs or people who just lost limbs. And
but in exchange for getting their limbs back, they basically have to work for AIM and do their dirty work.
Absolutely. And the risk is that, you blow up.
Yeah, you can blow up.
So that kind of uncovers the whole AIM plot. And then I think is when we get to them figuring out where this whole thing's happening.
Yeah, because Jarvis is having the speech thing, and he says he's in Miami, and it's like, okay, you're not in Miami, you gotta reboot that.
Yeah. He
says, no, they're in Miami.
So he has to go to Miami, and he starts having a breakdown when the kid says the suit's not charging. And he's like, what do you mean? Like, I gotta...
And that's the other thing. He says, and then the kid actually says, like, you're a mechanic, right? Just fix it.
And here's my fault with the PTSD thing, is it seemed like his whole issue was fixed by that simple phrase.
But sometimes I mean, I don't have PTSD. You don't have PTSD.
I don't have PTSD.
We don't know anyone really has PTSD.
No.
So maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like just even that certain thing that just takes your mind off it and says like, oh yeah, I'm good at this.
Like maybe if an attack starts, you think of it and then... Yeah.
And it's one of those things like, oh, I'm good at this. I'm going to just...
Focus on that. Yeah.
Latch on to
and maybe that is how it goes. And maybe that's just like, it helped them out in the moment. And that's totally possible. But I'm not saying this movie's horrible because it did it. I'm just saying, I feel like... It was later in the movie. Maybe they were just trying to move the plot along. But
we get to Tony Stark going to a Home Depot, which you said this is the most pedophile.
he has the hat
Tony
up
Stark.
and the facial hair and the creepy glasses.
And he's buying all these weird crap.
Yeah,
There's a lot of weird stuff being bought.
But he makes himself essentially a Black Widow-esque arsenal.
He's on a watch list after buying all this stuff.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But he does, and he makes a lot of really cool weapons because they say, you're a mechanic, just fix it.
Yeah.
And he drives to Miami without the suit. The suit is not ready yet, but he drives to Miami.
This is very much a suitless movie for the most part. It's Tony Stark
Yeah,
living without
which
the suit.
I think is that good, that, like, when we're jumping ahead, but at the end he says, I am Iron Man.
Yeah.
The idea that it's like, I don't need the suit to do this.
Yeah.
I'm capable of doing this all on my own.
Yeah.
He drives to Miami. He starts breaking into the Mandarin stronghold. We see those great weapons. He's got.
I want to bring up one of your notes here. During the montage of him constructing everything.
Oh yes.
You wrote down Mark MacGyver.
Yeah, this is the mock MacGyver suit.
Pretty clever.
But he's going through and he made like an impromptu nail gun, which I said, why don't you just buy a nail
Buy
gun?
a nail gun. But yeah, he's like shooting these guys with like nails or tacks or something, and like just tossing like these Christmas ornaments that have explosives in them, and it's honestly really cool because he's very like nonchalant, like I can do this, like bam bam bam, like secret agent level stuff.
Yeah, it especially when you consider like the first movie where he had like no idea what he was doing to this is really like a great transition. And can we talk about my favorite invention?
The glove.
The glove's amazing.
It's just like a garden glove with copper wire.
Then he just he like grabs someone on the top of the head, just shocks them.
Yeah.
And I'm just so upset that was a one-off. Like, I want, like, you to use that, like, 5 times.
Yeah.
It is such a cool invention. Cool. I will buy one if it doesn't put me on a list. I will buy one
It's gonna put you on a list.
Okay, so I won't buy one. But it's so cool.
Yeah, and then we get into, this is where the twist happens, and where we find out Ben Kingsley is not the real Mandarin, and it's such a kick in the enjoyment of
I'm putting my cards on the table now. This movie is going to lose points on the villain, the scoundrel, because of this twist. Absolutely. It is awful, because had you put Ben Kingsley as the main villain, I would have said this might have been the strongest villain in the MCU so far. Mm-hmm. But it's not. And the twist is literally a punch
maybe some of the strongest acting.
It is, like, the scenes where he's playing the Mandarin are so good.
But what really breaks it is, like, Tony goes into this room, and he finds his bed with a couple girls, and he's like, okay, wait, like, shush. Dude comes out, it's Ben Kingsley, and Tony puts a gun to his head, and he's like, okay, like, what's going on? Well, like, you're the Mandarin, I'm here to stop you, and he's just like, oh, it's not me, like, he's this British dude, and he has this accent, he's super goofy, and it's like, oh, no, what? And I'm sure in the movie it was like, whoa, what's happening? It's such a twist. But now it's like, ugh.
And this is going to hurt the integrity, I'm assuming, because it doesn't age well, especially when you know the twist. And that happens with movies, but I don't want to get into it anymore. I've said my piece on this.
So we move on.
Tony Stark does get captured. Like, he gets not tricked, but he gets distracted. And he's tied to the bed frame with the scientist.
And at this point,
what's her name? Maya Hansen.
And I believe at this point, isn't Rhodey captured too?
Rhodey has also been. You're right. Rhodey has also been captured at this point. And they're trying to get him out of the suit so they can use it. You're right. We skipped that scene there.
Rhodey gets captured. You know, it wasn't.
It's not that big a scene. Yeah.
So yeah, Tony's tied to this bed and talking to Maya and all this stuff, and then Killian walks in and has this whole speech about, oh, I want you to work with me and blah 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 blah. And,
I think the one thing he says, you gave me the greatest gift ever, animosity.
Yeah.
This idea that you don't want to be the
anonymity.
You
said animosity.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Anonymity.
Yeah, thank you so much for correcting me. The idea that you don't want to be the one on the screen. You want to be the guy kind of pulling the puppet strings.
Very anti-Tony Stark.
Yeah, Tony Stark, like we talked about Iron Man, he's like, he wants a parade, he wants his name up and like, oh crap, that's me.
Yeah.
And this one, he's like, no, you want to be the guy pulling the puppet strings, but no one sees you. And I think that's it's a good foil.
It is. Had it been more prevalent through the movie and it wasn't a twist.
You pick Killian or you pick the Mandarin. If you pick one or the other, I think that's a better movie.
Looking at it like this, I get what they're going with. Like, oh, but you didn't think, like, he is the puppet master. You didn't think it was him. But at the same time, it was like, why would you bring him back if it wasn't him?
I understand.
Why would you introduce him if it wasn't
understand
him?
From a story structure, you're like, oh, I have this menacing character, but he's not actually menacing. You don't bring Ben Kingsley to be the menacing character unless you're going to use him. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's a big buck to spend.
Yeah, and it's just, he's such a...
When you're paying for Robert Downey Jr. too.
You're paying for RDJ, you don't need to...
The frustration is real.
You can't see it, but I'm about ready to flip a table.
Yeah, and Killian comes in and has his full speech. And...
Well, before that, actually, Tony has a speech from Maya's like, I get to wake up to someone who has their soul every night because they haven't sold out to this. Like, just let me go. And Maya's like really considering it. Then Killian walks in, has the speech. And at that point, Maya actually puts the injection to her throat, saying
and
like...
she's like, I'll die. I'll blow this whole place up, pretty much.
Yeah, like, you're going to, like, blow up if you don't have me here.
Mm-hmm.
To which Killian just shoots her in the chest.
Yeah, like, I'll give him that. Like, cold-blooded.
Yeah, it does show Killian's a little serious.
Yeah. And then he kind of walks out on Stark and leaves him with a couple guards, which brings up one of my favorite moments when Stark asks... hey, what's the mileage from Tennessee to here?
Which brings my favorite question. Who knows the mileage between Tennessee and here?
Ponytail Guard.
Ponytail Guard knew. He's like, yeah, I got a thing.
He's like 832 miles. And he's
so
like...
I want him to be in the MCU and just have, like... Captain America's like, what's the difference between, like, Berlin and Washington? He's like, I don't know, 3,800 miles or something? And he's
trivia
like,
man.
Yeah, seriously, I need him on my bar trivia team. If I had him, I would win every single game.
Banned.
Hacks.
No using your phone, and no having trivia man on your team.
No ponytails.
No ponytails.
But
yeah.
Tony keeps trying to threaten him, saying like...
He tries to call the arbor.
Like,
and
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And nothing happens. And it is a funny scene. But then it does happen. His gauntlet and his boot come through, and he kind of has this cool, like... I don't have my full set of armor. I just have, like, my...
Pieces of it. Yeah, he's got, like, a foot and a hand. And that's cool. It's really cool. Tony Stark improvising.
Mm-hmm. He meets up with Rhodey after he gets his full suit.
Which, can we talk about this? Like, they put the metal hot hand on the suit. Mm-hmm. They're trying to melt him out, and eventually the suit's like, yeah, we're opening up. And he's like, all right, let's go. And Rhodey just jumps out and just does a flying
dressed
punch.
in a polo and jeans.
Yeah, why is he wearing a polo and jeans going on a mission? That's another great
question. Like flying punches like Killian or something
and does nothing. He's like, and then Killian breathes fire.
Yeah, he's like, and Don Cheadle just says, "You breathe fire?" Like, which I can't blame him. I'd probably do the same thing.
Don Cheadle is saying what the audience is thinking.
Yeah, just like human in that situation. He's like, "You breathe fire? I give up." He breathes fire. So. Eventually, Tony meets up with Rhodey after Tony gets his full suit, and he can't fly, so it's really fun to watch him like walk down the stairs.
Yeah, he's like doing all these normal things.
And then they meet up with each other, and he's like, "Okay, well, we need to catch up with this and all that jazz."
Yeah, we get that. We get to the airplane scene. They're using Iron Patriot to kidnap the president. Rhodey and Tony Stark call the vice president to let them know.
Yeah.
And then that's where we find out that the vice president's daughter is missing a leg, so it's
he's
kind of
in on it.
Yeah, he's in on this, so he's not going to report this. So they're on their own. Tony goes up to the plane. We get a little bit of fight scene with the discount Jason Statham.
Yeah,
and he finally gets rid of him.
Dies in a sweet way. He just unibeams him through the chest.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, walk away from this.
Yeah, just walk away from that.
But as he's doing that, about 13 people fall out, and it comes to the realization that his suit can only carry 4.
So he comes up with a creative way.
Yeah, he does the monkeys in the barrel thing. He's zapping people's arms so they can't.
He's contracting their muscles essentially.
And
so he can't
a nice little touch I liked.
Yes,
and I point this out. You can hear in the movie when someone grabs an arm or a leg, you hear a zap.
Yeah,
and that's showing that, which is really nice. And eventually, he's able to. Configure a way to save everyone. You said it's going to hurt, but
they're alive. I mean, he comes down to the water pretty quick, and they all land in it, and there's some skidding, but they're alive.
I mean, everyone's alive. So
at the end of the day, as long as they're alive, I guess.
Let's go with that. And then we get the reveal that he's actually not in the suit, which I think is...
It was a funny moment, but it was also like oh man, we're not seeing Iron Man be Iron Man.
Yeah, it's just stupid. You see them hit this thing, he's like, oh yeah, man, but I'm safe, so it's okay.
Truck hits the armor, and the armor goes scattering, and you're like, what happened? And then Tony in the face set up, and then Rhodey opens the thing, and it's like, tell me some good news. It's like, oh, he was doing the remote control stuff.
Yeah, I didn't like that at all. But they know the plan now. They capture the president. They're going to an old oil tanker, which had leaked all this oil and damaged the environment, but the president hadn't arrested anyone.
Yeah. And
Killian gives things like, I didn't need a reason to arrest you. I need a reason that would sell good on TV while I'm killing you.
Yeah. And the president's like strung up in the Iron Patriot armor, like very crucifixion style. But
why isn't there a helicarrier in Miami at this point?
Who knows? I'm not even getting into why S.H.I.E.L.D. isn't any part of this movie when the president gets kidnapped.
I'm not. I know I brought this up last movie. Like, you don't need an Avenger in this movie. Just a S.H.I.E.L.D. presence. Had you had a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent check in, I think I would have been more okay.
Yeah.
But this is like, you have the president
kidnapped. Or like S.H.I.E.L.D. show up at the end to like help suppress people.
Yeah, something like the president's been kidnapped.
Yeah, and last time I checked, S.H.I.E.L.D.'s part of the government. So that aside, Tony and Rhodey have to have this like buddy cop sneak in moment,
which is great because Tony has no idea what he's doing. I love the scene where he's just like, you can't shoot a ball from this far, and like Don Cheadle's just like,
yeah, he's like shooting at a guy and he hits the glass. He's like, oh, nice job aiming for the glass, and Tony's just like, you couldn't shoot the ball, he just knocks it out one shot. It's
great, and you get all this. But before this, Tony called the house call.
House call protocol.
No, house party protocol.
I'm
sorry, that's my fault.
Oh, it's so good. Where all of his armor just remotely flies towards him. It's so good.
So we get this final scene. We're having extremist soldiers fighting against all these Iron Man armors.
Which, and I said, my inner like Pokemon player or whatever wants to know what they all do. Like,
and I know you said don't bring this on the podcast. We're gonna bring it up. There were more team ups between the Iron Man suits than there were in Avengers.
They comboed more as like remote control drones than they. Oh my god, Whiplash was right. Drones better.
Drones are better.
Drones are better.
Drones know how to work together.
I want my board.
And I point out that the entire scene is basically Tony Stark entering the 42 life combo cheat code into a video game because he's just jumping in and out of suits the whole time.
Which is kind of what I want. I kind of would have liked a more extreme, like, I'm in this suit, now I gotta switch to this suit, but he does it like 2 or 3 times, so it's cool.
Yeah, and there's scenes where like he's trying to jump in and they knock it off. He's like, come on, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's cool. He like jumps into this flying suit to like get in, and then someone like tackles her to throw something and it goes flying. He's like,
And the whole scene's pretty well done. It's good.
It's a good action scene.
It's choreographed well. I love the scene where Rhodey has 2 people fighting. He shoots the other thing. He's like, bye, as he's holding on and like
he's on like a crate and it swings free.
It's pretty cool.
He gets in to see Pepper where he tries to rescue her.
Yeah, and I was gonna say what I really like. I mean, I know you're saying that scene where he saves Pepper and Killian like burns him out and all that. What I really like though is that the final scene when he's trying to save Pepper. It's Tony Stark.
Yeah, it's not Iron Man.
The first scene he's trying to save him is Iron Man, and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And then you see a scene, it's Tony Stark trying to save him.
No armor, he's like, you gotta let go, I'll
gotta trust me.
Which, she falls. She falls. She falls like 200 feet in the fire. Which I like, because it gives Tony, I personally, if I was writing it, I would have made him a little more brutal. But it gives Tony this, like, you've taken everything from me.
I've got nothing else to lose.
Yeah, now I'm gonna beat you up.
There's nothing more dangerous than a man that has nothing to look forward to tomorrow.
Yep, and so Tony kind of plays a little bit of outsmarting. And it's met with this scene where the Mark 42 is flying towards him, beat up and battered and all this stuff. And he says, like, oh, the prodigal son returns.
And he's, like, about to summon it.
But okay, here's my scene. Here's your Ben Kingsley twist, which I agree. Here's my scene that I think ruins the entire momentum of this, like, climactic sequence. Is he calls Mark 42 to him, and they could have done it to where it's just, like, it goes on him, and it's this really awesome, cool moment, and he's like, all right, I'm armored up. This is it. Final battle. Mark 42 hits a beam and scatters at his feet. And it's like, this was not the moment to put comedy in.
You don't need comedy in your climax here.
No. And it was it's set up, like, to be this amazing climactic battle.
You're going to have Tony, like, desperate in his last suit that he has available.
Honestly, I think it's set up to save the movie from, like, your disappointment with the Ben Kingsley thing and stuff. It like, set up to, like, have this really interesting and awesome scene.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I agree. I 100% agree.
They ruin it with the comedy. And
they tried to save it. They did try to save it. Where he traps Killian in the suit and self-destructs it. Yeah. And I get what they're trying to, but no.
It just would have been better if, like, they did a fight and then he's like, okay, and the suit, like, launched onto him while they're fighting.
Or even he melts a part of the soup and soup.
Yep, turns the suit into soup.
Yeah, it turns the suit to soup. But he melts part of the suit and he says okay, and he sends pieces of it
Yeah.
onto him. That would have been fun.
How cool would it have been if, like, they're fighting, he's, like, throwing a fist, and then the fist detaches and goes on Achilles. And he's like, what are you doing? Like, oh, could have been such good
Yeah,
scenes.
there were so many better ways to do this, but he tries to self-destruct it. It doesn't work. He goes to the bottom, and then you get the imagery just thrown in your face. There's an Iron Man helmet in fire, like,
and
burning.
then it, like, pops open, and it's a whole, like, okay, we get it. Iron Man's, like...
Symbolism!
Yeah. And then, guess who saves the day? Pepper Potts!
Because she's not dead, because Marvel can't kill anyone.
Extremis! And so
Extremis.
is Killian still alive, because Extremis. So Pepper kind of saves the day, and,
I do like the scene where Pepper does that, and then Tony Stark's literally like, I got nothing.
yeah, he's like, I have no one-liners. Like,
we get the scene that Pepper kind of uses that to kill Killian.
yeah.
Day's saved. Pepper's like freaking out. And then we kind of get the montage at the end. Tony saving Pepper because he's not drunk this time, so he can actually figure out the formula. Cures the extremist. He gets the
shrapnel
out of his chest. So now
and
he's
the reactor.
in the reactor, which is, again, that character development. He goes back to Happy's okay. Happy's watching Downtown Happy. He's okay. And then we get the final scene of him going to his Malibu house. He has his arc reactor and he throws it in the ocean. And
he retrieves the arm robot.
The arm robot, the hero of this series.
More so than Gary.
Yeah. Let's not say things we can't take back.
Tony needs Gary. Gary needs Tony.
The arm robot, everyone needs.
Everyone needs arm robot.
And it ends with the I am Iron Man. And before we go to the ranking, I want to say, we pointed this out. Best ending credits in the MCU. Yeah, I will say that now without rewatching.
It totally wraps, like, it has scenes from all the movies. And it's like this nice, like, you know, here's the journey. Here's Journey's End.
Yeah, it kind of...
For Tony Stark solo.
It summarizes everything. It summarizes the idea of, like, here's comedy, here's action, here's these, you know, the scenes you remember. Yeah. Everything's really done really well in the final credit. Mm-hmm. And then if we want to talk about the Stingers, meh.
Tony Stark was telling the story to Banner.
Banner, who's fallen asleep.
Who fell asleep at the elevator part.
Yeah, so he didn't hear the whole thing. So,
it didn't add anything, but
it solidifies
like a whole climax. So
it solidifies that Mark Ruffalo is in the MCU now.
Yeah. Hey, remember Mark Ruffalo? He's not changing.
Yeah, he's a thing.
Okay, so let's get into our ranking.
All right.
Shield scale.
So the Shield scale. We're looking at the scoundrel. How's the villain portrayed in this movie? What do we think about him? The hero. How's the hero portrayed? What does the action scenes as well as the character development that's both tied in there? The integrity. How does this movie hold up after time? How does the story play out in this? The entertainment. Do we actually enjoy watching these movies? We watch movies because we want to be entertained. So that's a big part of it. The Lee cameo. How's the Lee cameo hold up in here? We've had some duds. We've had some okay ones. We've had one great one.
Yeah, we had a pretty good one.
We had one good one. I actually brought this from the movie. Do we, do we hype Lee cameos up so much just because we're looking for them? But when we see them week to week, they're kind of meh? Something play out?
Because Thor.
Because Thor, okay.
We knew where that was coming and we were excited for it and it paid off.
All right, and then the development. How does this develop the MCU, okay? Mm-hmm. So let's start with the scoundrel, the villain of this movie, Connor.
Do we have to discuss it? How low can we go?
You start... The lowest we have gone so far... I'll say this right now.
0.75.
Is a 0.75 to Whiplash.
Dude, I'm going to go 0.5.
You're going to go 0.5 on the villain. Okay. Why are you going 0.5? Explain to
Ben Kingsley, they set up such a great villain who felt like he had a reason without explaining he had a reason. And if they explained his reason in the climax, I would have been fine with it because it was such a good portrayal of a villain. And then they throw it out. And I suppose... maybe it can be saved a little by saying, like, well, the whole guy's ideal was he wanted to be a puppet master, and you didn't know he was going to be the bad guy. But, like, to get Ben Kingsley and have him do such an amazing performance to throw it out the window, I don't like it.
And I said this during a review. You pick Ben Kingsley, you pick the Mandarin, or you pick Killian, and I think this is an average villain.
It's
but trying to split the two and make it one... I'm going 0.25 because I just want to be lower than you because
That's fair.
I remember watching this movie and I wasn't as angry, but watching it again, I was like, Ben Kingsley did a great job. And
it's the same thing that happened in Iron Man 1, but worse. Because they were split between the Ten Rings and Ironmonger.
You're right. It is worse than it was
the same problem, done worse.
Yeah. So maybe that's the problem with Iron Man. They're trying to do too many villains.
Yeah, that might be the problem with Iron Man.
Maybe it is. I don't know.
Going from extreme low to an extreme high.
Yeah, and I said this in our ratings, I think we're going to have a lot of peaks.
Yeah.
And we're going to have a lot of valleys.
Absolutely. Hero. Man, I'm not even going to say Iron Man, because this is very much a Tony Stark movie. Amazing.
Tony Stark's development, especially when we know what's happened in Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2, the fact that I'd say 80% of this movie is not in a suit.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It is very well done. I love Tony Stark in this movie.
I don't know if it's development or... Well, there's development, but there's also, like, the culmination of all the character development he's had over 3 or 4 movies, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's really good. I don't know if I want to give it... I don't know if I want to give it a 5 or not.
We've had no 5s in the hero category.
I know. Yet. Do I want to owe? Because I feel like I have this stipulation that I love Iron Man, and I'm gonna.
You have the power.
Oh, I'm just gonna do it. Give him the 5.
Connor is giving him a 5 in the hero, the perfect development.
And this isn't even because I like Tony Stark. Because if they did this with Captain America or Thor and just did really good character development, and took a character from 1 to 3 movies, 3.5 if you count Avengers. That just did have this steady arc of going from this playboy to a serious hero. I see you put your score in a little early. I think it's really good.
And here's the reason I put my score in early. I really do like it. It is my highest hero score.
Yeah.
Here's my one concern. We kind of rushed through it because we are running a little long tonight.
Yeah, it's a bit of a long one.
The one scene at the end where he does do the clean slate initiative.
Yeah.
The whole movie has been building up to, I need the suit to survive. I need the suit to survive. Okay, wipe all the suits out. I don't need them anymore. And there wasn't really enough development for me to say that he could do that. So, do you want to go try and convince me? Try and convince me here.
No, you're convincing me.
Convincing me. All right, so for the audience, I've gone 4.5. It is my highest hero score. I love what they did with Tony Stark, but the idea that they went from this PTSD, I can't do it, to
it did feel rough.
Blow all the suits up, I don't need them anymore. And I think the one downside of it is we knew Avengers 2 was coming, so like Iron Man's got to suit up again.
Okay.
Have I talked you down?
Yeah.
Oh, man. That's
but I still want to be higher than you. So 4.75.
4.7. Okay. I think that's fair. I think there's a lot to like here. I think if you watch this again, there is a lot to like in this movie with the Tony Stark development. Especially if you... Not even do a rewatch. Do 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
If you do 1, 2, 3...
Back to back? Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's a great arc.
It is a really good arc for a movie. All right. Integrity. I'm going to start with this one.
Absolutely.
When I look at integrity, I'm looking at how does this movie hold up and how's the story portrayed.
Right.
And I think it ties a little bit into my hero score, the 4.5.
Yeah.
I think there's just too many issues with the story. You've got too many issues with the villain. There's a little too many convenient things to happen.
Yeah.
The comedy is very poorly placed in the movie.
Well done, poorly placed, I think is a very fair way to put it.
Yeah, well done, poorly. Had it happened, you said that whether Iron Man hits it.
Yeah.
If he had done that while training, I would have like that. Oh, that's hysterical.
Yeah.
Like he's not got it done. You can't do that in the final scene because everything has been serious.
Yeah.
Especially like Pepper's dead.
Yeah, Pepper. At that
all
point,
we know,
you're
Pepper's dead.
Pepper's dead, and then you throw a joke,
and
that's like, no, because that it would have been no.
1.75. I'm going even below average on this.
Oh man. Yeah, I'll join you there.
You're joining me on the 1.75 train?
That it's just and especially bringing up after Pepper's quote unquote death.
And it's a shame that there's basically 2 or 3 moments in this movie. I think there are 2 or 3 moments in this movie separating it from like a 3 and a 1.75.
Absolutely.
And I think had they changed that, it's a above average movie. I'm enjoying it, and there's a lot of things that hold up. like we said, the visuals hold up very well.
Yeah, visuals look great.
And I think that boosted up
I mean,
a
it was
lot.
only 4 years ago, so.
Yeah, I know. It just feels so long ago.
5 years ago.
Time is a flat circle.
Yeah.
That's a reference to something. I don't even know what it is. I just see it on the internet all the time.
Well,
But yeah, there's just a couple things holding this back. Entertainment though.
Hey, you know what? It's a fun movie to watch. We had a good time. It wasn't like it didn't feel like a drag.
I forgot how entertaining this movie is. I haven't watched this in years.
This movie gets a lot of flack for like being the worst Iron Man. I disagree wholeheartedly.
It is not the worst Iron Man. Iron Man 2's garbage.
It's a pretty good movie, honestly.
I'm gonna be as much to maybe even. I'm torn between 3.5 and 4.
Okay.
What are you leaning?
I have a 3.25. I think it's a fun one.
3.25. Well, then I won't be the one that goes a little too crazy because I know you go crazy on Iron Man. So I'll go 3.5. Like
I'm trying to rein myself in. It's a fun movie to watch. The comedy, when it's done at good times, is funny, and there's a lot of great serious moments that I love. But then there's
also the fight scenes are really well done.
Fight scenes are cool.
Not just like Tony Rhodes is really well done. Like there are some entertaining moments in this. So I also really like how you start getting the idea of politics tied into this, which is going to play a bigger role in the Captain America series. Absolutely. So I think it is entertaining. You know what? I'm going to go just 3.75.
Okay.
I've changed a little bit. I'll split the difference. 3.75.
Yeah, and it's a really entertaining movie. It's solid when it hits its comedic beats right. It's great. What takes it away, I think, is what keeps it from a 4 or even a 5 is the Mandarin twist and the climactic scene that just takes away. There's something to say when you're at the climactic fight scene in an action movie, especially a comic book movie, and you're like getting the tingles and you're on the edge of your seat, and then you throw a joke in after the hero's love interest dies.
It's not even a good joke.
It's not. It's like, oh, haha, the armor fell apart. We've just seen that joke about.
We saw that joke literally 20 minutes before.
Yeah, not even. It's yeah.
Another thing that's going to help the entertainment, I would say, is all the suits and seeing them all.
Oh my god, yes.
That does help a lot in there,
too.
Oh,
it's so great.
Lee cameo, what do you think? You're the Lee expert.
Not a good one. I mean, look, I will give him points for this. It was a cameo. It wasn't like...
It was a straight cameo.
It wasn't like, hey, here's Lee, who you get in 0.25 seconds dressed up like... Not Larry King. I always say that.
No, it was Larry King.
Was it Larry King? Who's the other guy?
Larry David.
Yeah, Larry King. It's like, was that Stan Lee? Which was a quick cameo. But, like, this was like, okay, it's Lee. You know? It's Lee. What's the average? 2.5? I'll give it 2.5.
I'll go 2. I mean, I'm not a huge Lee expert as you, but I think, like, it's a cameo. He's there.
It's funny. Old guy cheering for pretty ladies.
Yeah, I get it. It's funny. Deadpool does it better.
Deadpool did it great.
Deadpool did it.
When we're done the MCU and we start doing other Marvel movies, can't wait for that.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. But yeah, I'll give it a 2. I mean, it's not the worst cameo we've seen. It's not the best. You know, it's just there. I mean, here's the thing that's gonna keep it from getting 1. When we put the movie in, I knew that was the cameo. So at least I remembered. Unlike in Captain America,
it's memorable.
Yeah, unlike in Captain America, I didn't remember that cameo at all.
Oh, where he's the general or whatever?
I thought he'd be taller.
Yeah, that's...
Development. How does this develop the MCU?
Does it? Does it at all?
0.5.
Yeah, I'll go with you there.
Because
it doesn't do anything.
Here's my biggest issue with this. You had just spent entire phase 1 building up this super team. I know that I brought this up in the Avengers as a big issue.
Yeah.
That, like, you can't do an Iron Man movie without the Hulk or Captain America or whatever. You can. You can do individual movies. That's fine. A movie like this, especially one that takes place in the United States where the president is captured and you have explosions happening, and I don't get one freaking SHIELD agent in the entire movie.
Yeah.
This does not develop the MCU. If you took this out...
We get a SHIELD reference. That's it. It's Jarvis references, we'll use SHIELD's databases or whatever. And that's it.
You cannot do that, especially... I know Coulson's dead. You could bring... Maria Hill or Samuel L. Jackson. I don't care. Bring someone in here.
Bring new Agent Coulson.
Make a new Agent Coulson. I don't care, but you cannot
You need a presence.
Build up this whole universe and this whole thing, and then say, oh, by the way, it doesn't exist in this movie.
Even if it was, like I said, a fight, or when they're fighting or whatever, you see a van with a SHIELD logo.
And then let's talk about the clean slate thing. He blows up all his Iron Man suits just to rebuild them again because we know Avengers 2 is going on.
Yeah,
it's not a good development of this movie. It's I mean, it just feels like we took 5 steps forward in Avengers, and now we took 8 steps back.
Yeah, it's rough. It's rough. Now we leave our scientists to calculate.
Yeah, let's have the scientists take this to the lab.
So the score is calculated.
We're back from the lab.
Back from the lab. What was a mere seconds to you viewers was an excruciating
hours of analytical data.
Locked in a room.
Why
locked in a room?
You need to shave.
It's everywhere.
It's in the raccoon wound. Anyway, we calculated it. Iron Man 3 is going to come as a respectable 5th on our list here. 5 out of 7.
You know, you think the scientists could at least number it.
Yeah, seriously. Come on, what do we pay them for? Oh, yeah, we don't pay them.
Yeah, they pay us. What
Right. So it comes right below Thor on our list and right above Iron Man 2. And when I say right above Iron Man 2, there's still a decent gap between Iron Man 2 and Iron Man 3. If I'm giving you advice, or you've already listened and watched this, I'm assuming, my advice would be skip Iron Man 2. Just watch Iron Man 3. Tell your friends.
Watch the first 20 minutes of Iron Man 2 so you get your dad. But that's about it.
Get your dad. As soon as he says that,
your dad, turn it off. Put in Iron Man 3.
And then skip to when he uses the suit. The suitcase
suit. Oh, the suitcase suit, yeah.
And then turn it off.
Pretty much just go to scene selection, get the court scene and the racetrack scene, and you're good.
Yeah, but I mean, this movie's, I think we agreed, there's some peaks and there's some valleys. Yeah. There's a great...
It's a movie that does things to the extreme, either extremely well or extremely poorly.
It's a movie that had so much potential that was wasted, but still I think it's worth a watch.
All right, well, I think that finishes up our Iron Man 3 review. Hey, Brendon, what are we watching next week?
Next week, let me tell you, I'm not holding out a lot of hope for this.
Yeah.
Because we're going back to Norse mythology.
Yeah.
We gotta watch the Dark World.
Thor Odin's.
Dark World.
Dark World. Hey, you know who appears in the Dark World?
Who?
A doctor from Doctor Who.
I don't know that.
Yeah, number 9.
So next week we're gonna be watching Thor: The Dark World, again keeping with our Phase 2 as we try to get you ready for the greatest cinematic event in the history of the world, Marvel Infinity Wars.
Yep.
I'd like to thank the Couch Gnomes.
Yep.
As I do every week.
Pay the toll.
I paid my toll multiple times. I gave you food tonight.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, we it's super great to have a podcast on the channel. We are constantly working on new stuff, so please keep an eye on the channel. We are constantly talking about it.
And I do want to say, our numbers have gone up this week.
Yeah.
So you listened to our plea that we want people to listen
to
us. Our begging. We begged you to do it, and our numbers have gone up, so keep it going. Again, I shouldn't say we, because I'm not part of the Couch Gnomes. The Couch Gnomes advertise a little bit on the social media, but really, word of mouth is how we get the best word out. So get it out there. Like the video. Share it with your friends. We'd love to get this video out to everyone. We want to know what you think about the MCU. Please share your opinions with us. We want to be the podcast of the people.
Mm-hmm. We stream, Couch Gnomes stream every Friday. Me, Danny, and I. We have a Facebook. Check it out. Instagram. I don't manage that. I'm not much for the pictures.
Pictures are dumb.
Audio, baby. The wave of the future. We do stuff, like I said, we do new stuff on YouTube, we're on Twitch, we're on Instagram. We have Snapchat, that pretty much, I think Danny's mainly in control of, because I forget to use my normal Snapchat. We're on all kinds of social media.
Let's talk about the Facebook and YouTube lord here.
Yeah, me. I track that stuff pretty well. When I get bored, I get on the YouTube channel and see what's going on.
Those are the social medias of the people.
Yeah. We use that video format for our audio podcast. It's really wonderful. Talk about the real meme. All right, guys. Well, join us next week for Thor: Dark World.
Thor: The Dark World. We'll catch you later.
See ya.